Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Far North Football Podcast. It's been a while, way longer than I wanted it to be, but we are back and we have a lot to talk about. So it's going to be exciting in this episode. A lot has happened since last time, transfers and many different stuff. So we have a lot to talk about. But I just want to say now the season is approaching, and we're almost, we're about 1 week away from the first game in the league, and the Charity Shield game is going to be on Saturday as well. So I'm just going to say, moving on forward, I'm going to talk about the Faroese League. In general and what is happening and talk about different teams as well. But don't be surprised if the main focus is going to be around Klaksvík, because that is the team I support and that is also the team I know most about. So just so you guys know, the main focus is always probably going to be on Klaksvík, but if there's something exciting happening and everything, then obviously I'll be talking about that as well, and also try to dip into the other games that the teams play against each other. So, yeah. So first of all, I want to talk about a little bit about the transfers for Klaksvík and the squad situation. So Klaksvík have signed a few players. One of them is attacking midfielder called Ali, who I've seen a few friendly matches yet, and he, as I understand, he hasn't played in a while, like almost a year, because he hasn't had a club. But I think I see some glimpse of like his playing style, and he looks a bit exciting. But he has a lot more to prove. He's a bit shaky in games. He has some excellent moments, and then maybe you don't notice him for the next 10-15 minutes. So I think there's a potential if he can get to the fitness levels before the start of the season, or maybe in the early games, hopefully not too long, so we can see more of him. And I think he's going to be a good signing because we really need an attacking midfielder, because right now, also especially in the recent friendly games that I will be talking more about later, it seems that we lack creativity in the midfield, especially because we have two midfielders who tend to fall a bit down, which is obviously okay, but I think we need some players further forward to try to bring the ball further up to the pitch, so we don't shoot long balls all the time, because a long ball is a 50-50, and I don't see how that is like going to be the best game plan for the season. So hopefully he's creative and can make some passes in behind and have some good dribbles, for example. As well as that, we have also bought a young player. He was 17 when he signed for Klaksvík, but he's just turned 18. His name is Dávid Reynheim. He played actually for HB a few years back, and under the Italian coach Solmani. But he came up with a lot of good qualities in his first season at HB, and that got noticed by the Italian giants Torino, and he did well actually for their, I think it was under 18 squad, and they managed to win the under 18 league title there in Italy. He came pretty late into the setup, so he hasn't played a lot, also because he's still young and probably will need some time to find his way into the team, especially when you have a strong, experienced player in Klaksvík who is going to be hard to take his spot. But Dávid Reynheim, he is an excellent football player, and he has a really, really high potential. I think he's going to be a really good player. And he can play central striker, which I feel is his main position. But I see him as a winger as well, that he can play at the wing places to get more game time as well, because I think it's really important for young players, especially when we sign a young player, that they need to get enough time to develop and improve, because if he's going to sit on the bench the whole time, we won't get any use out of him, especially when Koi actually paid for him. I think it was around 50,000 euros, which is really expensive for a 17-year-old. It's not something that has ever happened here in the Faroe Islands, so I have high hopes, but also I have high expectations. But I won't expect, obviously, that he will start, but start being the best player straight away. But I hope in this next year that he is going to become a regular starter, and hopefully an important player in the future in the next coming years. He has signed a 4-year deal, so there's a long time to get to that potential. But I hope it's going to be reached sooner rather than later, because injuries this season has made the squad a little bit thin. I'll be talking more about that later, but there are some key players that are injured, and then we have to get the most out of those players that we have currently fit. As well as that, we have signed another attacking player. That's also why it's going to be a bit hard for Dávid Reynheim to get into the squad. Tall striker, a target man, you could say. I think he was 194 centimeters. His name is Erlend Hustad. He's from Norway. And I've seen a little bit from some friendly matches. I missed a few because of work. But what I've seen is that he's big, he's strong, and he's definitely going to be a threat in the air, especially from those corners from Otna, Fredriksberg. But there's also a lot to show still from him, and just in general for the entire team. It's been a slow start in the friendly matches. They have been on a training training trip in Spain, and hopefully they have got a lot out of that trip. But I feel like there's still a far way to go, and that's a bit concerning, because the season starts in a week, so you would probably want it to be like everyone to be ready now. But I think Koi, they will perform when it comes to the real matches that count. Friendly matches, obviously, it's a good indication, but it's also good to obviously build match fitness and try some new stuff out. So just because it hasn't been the best results in the friendlies doesn't mean that it's going to be worse when the season starts. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the friendly matches. Obviously, when they were in Spain for their training trip, they played against a Swedish team called Gais, and they I don't know. I watched a bit of the game. I was also at work, but I was able to stream most of the first half and a little bit of the second half. And from what I saw, it was a close game when it came to the score line. But there was no doubt what team was the stronger team, and that's obviously Gais, because they're in a bigger league. They have a higher budget, and there's no doubt about it. So, but I think Koi played really well, because to be able to play against a top 4 team in Sweden and get a decent result, I think that speaks volumes about the team of Koi, and also for me it can shine some light onto how it's going to be in the summer when the European games come. But we were under a lot of pressure, and that was expected. I didn't really see that many chances from Koi, and the other team obviously pressed the ball a lot and had way more chances than Koi. But But I think it's a respectable 1-0 defeat against a big Swedish team. And then to the friendlies in the Faroe Islands. Obviously, as some of you may know, the league has actually changed the name from Betredalden, which meant the better division, which is the sponsor, was the sponsor, has changed the name to Mostardalden, which just means the champions division, the best division. The friendlies KOI have played there has been against, for example, B36. It has been against Nolshay or O0 Vester, HB. Maybe I'm missing something, but I want to talk about especially those three I said there. Nolshay Vester or 07 Vester was a game that we won, but it was a 1-0 win. I wasn't at the game myself, but I've heard people say that it was more deserved to be a draw, actually, and KOI didn't create that many chances and weren't really dangerous in front of goal, which is a bit concerning, but that was still a long way until the season was going to start. Then we played against Hope in Klaksvík, which we won comfortably, 2-0. It was a bit boring game. Wasn't really many chances from either of the teams, but the positive thing about it is that Dávid Reynheim, the former Hope player that KOI recently signed from Torino, he scored his first goal and played his first minutes in Faroe Islands for KOI, first minutes back in the Faroe Islands. He scored against his former club, which is always fun for a supporter, and he actually looked really mature and confident, and as I said earlier, I think he's going to be a good player, and I think he's going to fight for the starting 11 team already this season, hopefully. And then came the game, the last friendly before the Charity Shield was against B36. And I must say, B36 looked really, really good and strong. That may also be down to the underperformance of KOI. And it's a bit disappointing as a fan, but also it's a friendly, so maybe the mindset isn't really there, and maybe you're trying some new things, trying some players, but it isn't that KOI played with a weak team. They played with a decent strength team. Obviously, there's some injuries, but it wasn't the reserve team, and also B36 also made a lot of changes, which proved that they may have better depth this year than they had last season. They won 3-0. The former KOI player, Dávid Reynheim, he assisted one goal and scored one goal, which is, I'm really happy for him. Also, it's a friendly, so I'm not too bothered, but I'm happy for him to see him doing well for his new team. He is actually the top scorer in the friendly games this season, and he's been doing really, really well so far. But I'm disappointed in KOI for letting him go, because he is an excellent player and he should have gotten way more chances, and he just proved it in that game and also the friendly games. But I'm hoping to see more from him in the league, but not too much, obviously, because I don't want him to affect the KOI chances of winning. But I think he's going to be a good player, and it's a bit stupid for KOI to let him go, especially if you think about that. We have injured players that I want to come talk about right now. We have a lot of doubtful players and star players that are not really 100% yet, and some may be out for a long time. For example, Reni Shaki, one of our most stable player throughout these last, 4 years, I think, or maybe more than that. If you follow Faroese football and if you follow KOI, you know he is a really stable player. He performs generally well every single game, and he can play basically every position. He can play on the wings, he can play in the midfield, which is his main position, but he can play at the fullbacks as well, and defense, center back as well. The only two places I really wouldn't put him is striker and goalkeeper, but he can play everywhere else, and he is a really calm and good player, and also just a good person as well. That also makes the team stronger to have good personalities in the team. But he is injured, and they're saying he probably won't be fit until the summer, and they're hoping him to be fit before the European Games. The only problem is if he makes it back just before the European Games, how is his condition going to be? And also, he is going to lack match sharpness. And is it smart to go play European Games with a player that has been out injured for half the season? So that's disappointing, as well as Hatler Hansson. He has been training lightly and been subbed out early in the friendly games. I don't know his 100% situation, but I think he's not injured, but I think he's working his way back. But I don't think he's 100%. And last game against B36, he played maybe the first 15 minutes, and because the weather was really cold and that pitch was a bit frozen, which is not really good for players if they slip or get stuck into the artificial grass. They can get more injured. So he got subbed out after 15-20 minutes for Denny Pavlovic, who is a really good squad player as well. He can play in the defense and midfield as well, and also the fullbacks. He used to be a starter and a key player, and he is still a really good player, and for me is a key player as well because of the depth. But the recent 2-3 years he hasn't been the starter every single time, but he is a really good backup player to have. But he came in for Hatler in that game and got injured as well, and it didn't look extremely bad, but you saw his frustration, and when he walked off the pitch, he kicked the pile of snow laying there, showing his frustration. So I'm a bit scared he's going to be out for a while, with maybe a muscle injury of some sort, and that can take a few weeks, and the season starts next week, so that is a bit disappointing. Also, Jens Katze, our key right back, he just got back from injury as well and got his first few minutes against the B36 now, the last friendly. So it's good to see him back, but he is probably not 100% still, but he is on his way back. And also Potl Kletskar, who has been, I don't know, a little bit in and out of the team. I don't think he is 100% either. And these players are all key players that I'm talking about right now. So it's going to be interesting to see who is going to be ready when the season starts, and how ready are they going to be? Are they going to be 100% or 70%, So it's going to be really important this season to have a lot of depth and use the substitutions, which I think the manager didn't really do enough last season, and didn't rotate the squad enough last season. And that's also why Shaki's injury is prolonged, because he played through injury all the second half of the season last season, and he knew, and the manager knew, that it could affect this season. But I think all parties are really disappointed to see that it's going to affect him for so long. Half a season is, for me, way too long. Also, one interesting part about B36, they have made some really good signings. Dávid, as I told you, but one player which I think is going to be a key player for them this season, and for me, he is actually too good for them, but maybe he is the player going to lift B36 back up to the top 4 spots, and maybe even playing for the top 2 and challenging for the title. And it's Dabo. Dabo is not unknown to Faroese football. He started in B68, where he played a few seasons, I think, 1 or 2. And then he got transferred to EB Stramer, and he did really well there as well. And he impressed a lot in the first half of the season last season. And just in the summer, he got transferred to a team in Gibraltar, Lincoln Red Dims, I think they're called, and just to tell you how important he was for EB Stramer. After he left, if I'm correct, I don't think they won a single game. They were pretty clear from the relegation, and they were actually challenging in the top 5 or like laying above Wuschinga for a big part of the first half of the campaign. But after he left, didn't really get the results after that. So he's a really good and important player. He's a winger, really fast, good shots. But the only thing for me, I think B36 maybe want to try to get him more into is to be more, I don't know, track back. I won't say he's a lazy player, but he's the type of winger that takes the sprint forwards and maybe walks back. But if they can get him into the pressing play as well, I think he's going to be key for BD36, and just him alongside Dávid, I think are going to be make B36 really competitive this season, especially if they can keep the experienced players fit throughout the season, because that's really important for them. Because as I said earlier, I think they have a better depth this season, but it's not perfect. And if one or two experienced players for them get long-term injured, they have to find other solutions. But I think it's going to be an exciting campaign for B36 supporters. So yeah, last season B36 missed out on European places, but I think that they're going to. I think they're going to be able to get those places back this season, especially because Wichinger. I think their transfers are, I don't know, a bit underwhelming if you're a Wichinger supporter, because they have lost a lot of players this season, and they haven't really replaced them. They have made a few signings, one or two decent signings, but also just not the quality of the players they're letting go. They're letting go Olaf Barason, who's a really good winger. He did have a bad season last season, but he is really good, and we saw that in 2023 when Wichinger won the league title, how important he was. And obviously they also lost their captain, Atle, who's now the assistant manager for the national team. He was also that last season, but he is officially retired now. They lost fullbacks and wingers in all of Barason, and they lost players all over the place. So I think it's going to be really hard for Wichinger this season, especially if they're just trying to fix the problem by playing young players, which is really good, obviously, because we want to develop various football players. But I think it's going to, I don't know, make it really, really hard for them to even challenge for anything. Fourth place would be a good season for me. Fourth place would be a good season for Wichinger. And if they get medals in the top three, I think it would be seen as a success. But I think they're going to struggle. I'm predicting actually they're going to finish behind B36, and that also takes me to the league prediction this season. It's a bit interesting because I think it's going to be a way closer league this season than it has been maybe some other years, especially in the bottom, because the two of the promoted teams they look really, really strong. And I think it's going to, I don't know, maybe we will see two different teams relegated than promoted. And last season we saw these two same promoted teams getting relegated. So I think the bottom half is going to be really, really excited to follow. And I also think it's going to be closer in the top. It's hard for me to say, but especially seeing these friendly games that I talked about, I think Koi are probably going to drop some points that they may not have last season. But I think that they can like hold it out throughout the season, and because they're stable and they know how to win. Most of the players are winners and know how to win a Faroese championship, but it's hard to regain. It's also always really hard to defend the title. So my predictions are like this. Number 1, Koi, but I think it's going to be close. Last season, I think it was 9 or 12 points. This season, I think it's going to be beat the last 2-3 game weeks, maybe 5-6 points, splitting number 1 and number 2. And I think number 2 is going to be NSU, because they have strengthened their team a lot, especially in the defense. They got a new goalkeeper, which was one of the big problems for them last season, because their keeper was obviously good, but he made some stupid mistakes often. And when you have a goalkeeper in goal that makes the mistakes, defenders are more nervous. They won't trust him as much, and that can also affect the team and the defense. But if you have a goalkeeper who is really good and takes those balls that he is supposed to take every single time, I think the defense can be way more calm. And I see them being number 2 this season, and I think it's going to be really, really close. So it's important for Koi to win those games against NSU, especially the home games, and away games would be nice, but if it's a draw away, it wouldn't be a disaster. So yeah, NSU number 2, Koi 1, NSU 2, and number 3, B36. As I said earlier, I think they look really exciting, and I think they have a lot to offer this season. Number 4, it's HB. They have lost some important players. They have also signed a lot of players, but it's hard to say the quality of the players. They have signed some young players, a young striker, but it's impossible to say already the quality of the players, especially for us following Faroese football. You often sign players that are not really well known, so it's hard to predict how they're going to play, what their standards are compared to the Faroese league. But you obviously look at what teams they have played before, if they're played in the second division in Norway or third or even first division in Norway, and set the standard after where they played before. But that isn't always easy to see if the player's good or not, because he can have played for the best division in Norway a few years ago, but his form has declined, and maybe played 2 or 3 seasons in the second division, and that's his level. It's hard to say exactly. So Hoppe number 4, Witchinger, as I said, losing a lot of players, number 5 for me. And this bottom half, it's going to be, for me, it's really hard to predict. I don't really know. I could be completely wrong in every team here, but I made my educated guess. I said number 6, Ibestremer. They had a good season last season, as I said, and earlier, especially the first half. And I think if they can be a little bit more consistent throughout the whole season, I think number 6 isn't unrealistic. But it can also be the other way around. They can be fighting a relegation battle if they don't get a decent start, and obviously get points against the team that are closer to them, because you don't expect a team like Ibestremer to get points against the top 3, but maybe to snatch a point or maybe 3 from the likes of Witchinger, and maybe if they have a really good day from maybe Hoppe or B36. But it's important for a team like Ibestremer, and obviously the other teams and the lower half to focus their points on the teams around them, because to get points from the top half is going to be way harder. So number 6, Ibestremer. Number 7, Skala, the newly promoted. I think I'm optimistic about them because they look really good, and they had an excellent season last season in the first division, or second division it's called. And they scored a lot of goals, and basically kept most of the players, the same players, and signed a few as well. It's going to be hard to know exactly how the scoring players are going to perform in the first division, in the best division, because it's not the same to play in Fistudald and Marstadölden, so they obviously won't score as many goals. But I think it's a good indication that the teams that are in the lower half, that they will be looking to get goals and try to win the matches. By maybe scoring more instead of focusing too much on defense. Then we'll probably see games that finish 3-2 or even 4-3, because I see the attack of Skala as one of their strong suit. Norske Vester had a really bad season last season. Terrible season actually. Something shows me that they're probably going to be better this season. But I don't know. It's hard to say. And I've actually put them number 8 at the same place as last season, where they escaped on the last game week last season. I think they will improve, and I think they will get more points. But I don't think it's going to be enough to get a higher position because, as I said, I think the lower half is going to be close. So I think even from number 7 or 6 down to number 10, it's going to be a few points. So I'm predicting number 9, B68, and number 10, Ape, to get relegated. And it's a bit interesting because I obviously said earlier we have 2 strong promoters, and I predicted Ape to go down in number 10. I don't know why exactly. I think they're strong, and it's going to be close. But I think that the teams that have been staying up will obviously have more resources because they get more money for being in the best division. But also, they have been there for a few years now, so they have the experience, and it's going to be hard for Ape. But I think definitely they can surprise and even go above Nordsjælland number 8 or 7. Yeah, it's actually really difficult to say, and I might be completely wrong in this one. This is the one I'm most skeptical about, because, as I said, 2 really good teams that are promoted this season, and to predict the B68 to get relegated. I hope not, because I really like them, and it's also one of the closer grounds to Klaksvík, so it's not that far to go for away games. But I think they'll struggle. They changed manager last season. They got an interim manager, and now they got a new manager as well. A lot of the players are switched out. They lost a key player who returned to Koi after loan, Jakob, who has played most of the friendly games for Koi, and he looks promising as well. And right now, they don't have Johan Josefsen, one of their attackers they had on loan from Koi as well, but he's injured, so I'm not really sure where he will end up, if he'll stay in Koi or if he will maybe go back to B68 or try something else. But out of those teams, if there's going to be a team from the best division that is going to be relegated, I think it's going to be Nordsjælland or B68. But I don't think both of the teams that got promoted will be relegated, and I also see the possibility of maybe both teams that got promoted to survive, and maybe Nordsjælland and B68 get relegated instead. So it's going to be excited to follow the bottom half of the season. Or bottom half of the league. I was going to talk when I originally planned this episode. I was going to talk about transfers that have happened abroad, because there's happened a lot of exciting stuff abroad, but I never got the time to record. I was planning to record an episode with a guest, but that fell through in the last moments because of our schedules got a bit I don't know, we got busy with something. So it didn't really work out for both of us. So maybe sometimes in the future, hopefully, because I really want to have a guest on here to talk about. I have a few guests in mind. I mean, but when that will happen, I'm not really sure. So I will talk a little bit about the transfers, but I want to go into a lot of details because if you follow a bit of the Faroese football, you will already know, because it's been a while now. So I don't really want to go into the big details, but also because maybe we can talk more about it later after we see how they perform. But there's 2 players that I'm thinking about especially. It's Aki Samuelsen, former Hobby player who got transferred to the champions of Sweden, Malby. And when they signed him, it was for, I think, about 7 million Danish crowns, which was a record fee for a Faroese player at the time. And he is a exciting winger. I think he's going to be a good player for them, and I think he has the standard to play play in the best division in Sweden. But obviously, it's not going to be as easy as the second best division in Norway. So he has to he has a lot to prove, but I definitely think he's going to be a good player for them, and hopefully he will be doing well, because he's been doing well in the national team as well, for the under 21s national team, and I think he's going to be a good signing for them, hopefully. And then the other one, as I said, Aki Samuelsen was a record signing for a Faroese player at the time, because just a few days or weeks later, another Faroese player got sold, and that was none other than Andrias Edmundsson, the brother of Jon Simon Edmundsson, who played for Newcastle, for example, and he also played on the Bundesliga and was the first Faroese player to play and score in the Bundesliga for Bielefeld, or however it's pronounced. But yeah, Andreas, he played for Wisła Plock in Poland, and they did really well. They got promoted this season, and they were on top of the league when he got sold. So they were doing really well to be promoted, and then also fighting for the league. He got sold for around 22 million Danish crowns, almost triple, no, more than triple of what Aki was sold for, to Hellas Verona in Italy, Serie A. And it's a crazy transfer to go from Poland to Serie A, and also for a Faroese player to get sold directly to Serie A. For example, when his brother played in Bundesliga, he got signed to them when they played in the Bundesliga too, and got promoted with the team. So it's a really impressive move, and he has actually played already 3 games for them, and he started in all 3 of them, and even in the first match, he kept a clean sheet and became the man of the match for that game, in his first start for a Serie A team, which is just incredible in my mind. He's a fantastic player, and hopefully this is also going to lift more around the Faroese national team, and make him a better player, but also hopefully make the players around him in the national team, Faroese national team, better as well. And the one thing I hope this is going to do is motivate the young players in the Faroe Islands to take this next step, because Andreas has been really patient. He has played for many different teams. He actually started in B68, where he's from, Toftir. But then he got a scholarship, and he went to Sunderland. The rivals of Newcastle, where his brother played. But he played for the under-18s and under-23 for Sunderland from 2018 until 2020. And he started regularly there, I think. And then after that he got he didn't get a contract with the team, and then he wanted to try something new, and he went to Spain, one of the lower leagues in Spain, 4th or 5th division in Spain, to try. Some Faroese player may take the step there and just return home, but he took the step to try something new, something different, and try to find his way, because it's also way easier to get noticed as a player in, for example, Spain or different countries in Europe than it's in Faroe Islands, because I don't think really many scouts are actually looking in the Faroe Islands, and I think probably they should do now, because I think Faroe Islands produces some really good players that have the level to play for many good teams in Europe. Obviously not 10 Premier League players, but we definitely produce players for the best teams in Scandinavia, and also, as you can see, in Serie A as well. And if they just look this way, because we've seen it with the national team, how they did this year, one against Czechia, and played 2 really close matches against Croatia, and won 4-0 against Montenegro. So I think that would be a good idea for different scouts. So if there's any scout listening, try to watch teams from the Faroe Islands, because you might be surprised. But yeah, obviously after 3 years in Spain, he moved to a team in Poland. I think it was the 3rd division in Poland, actually, and he played 1 season there and impressed and played really well, and got sold to Wisła Plock in the 2nd division in Poland. He played 2.5 seasons for them, and played the first season where they got promoted, and now he played the first half of the second season, and he's pretty much played every single game. Maybe missed one or two, but I think he's played pretty much every single game, and he's been doing really well. And yeah, that caught the eye of the scouts in Hellas Verona, and he got sold to them. And yeah, 3 out of 3 starts so far, played 90 minutes in all of them. But yeah, they're at the bottom of the table, number 20, and there's 9 points up to safety. So they're probably going to get relegated. I hope somehow a miracle will happen and they stay up. But Serie B isn't a terrible standard for a Faroese player either, and also that also maybe gives him the possibility to play more games where they're more in possession, because when you're sitting in 20th, you're obviously the team that doesn't really have the ball much and always under pressure. So if they get relegated, I see there's also some positivity that can come out of that for the player himself to learn different stuff and improve in different areas. But hopefully they'll stay up. But if not, then hopefully they will get promoted straight away again. So yeah, I don't really have much more to talk about this time. I'm really sorry. I said last time it's not going to be this long to wait for the next episode, but it's been busy work and also everything. And now I'm going on a ski trip and will be away for the first 2 games of the season, the Charity Shield and the first game of the season. So I won't make any episodes before then. Obviously, I'll try to see if I can watch it on TV. But if not, I'll still be talking about the games when I come back, and yeah, make more regular episodes when the season starts. So maybe they're going to be a bit shorter. Talk about the game week, about the different results and what I think, how it went for Koi and different stuff. But yeah, already on Saturday, it's tomorrow. In 2 days. I mean, they are going to play the Charity Shield or charity match against HP. Is obviously the winner of the cup and winner of the league that face each other. But Koi won the double last season, so it's going to be number 1 against number 2. I think we'll win that. Hopefully, it's not really an important trophy, but it's always fun to win, and it's never fun to lose against Albe. So I'm hoping and predicting us to win that game. Then the first game of the season is going to be on the 8th of March. I think it is a Sunday. When Koi will face Nulsjö Vester in away. And I actually see right now I have actually returned by that time, so maybe I'll be able to go to see that game. I returned on the 7th, so maybe I'll be able to watch that game anyways. So yeah, I'm excited for the season to start. I'm really excited for to see how the season is going to be. Hopefully to win the championship again, but I'm really excited for the European games, especially because we start in Champions League this season, which may the chances to get into a league phase way higher. So yeah, I'm going to make more regular updates when the games start playing. Maybe not every single game week, but I'll try to make as many as possible. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed to listen to this episode. I know we had many different subjects, but I've been away for so long that I just thought would be best to just take everything, and then hopefully when we come back, it's going to be more focused on maybe some specific subjects. So as always, let me know if there's any specific subject you want me to talk about, or if there's something you want to know more about. Feel free to write to me on X or so I'll take it into consideration. Also, I try to find a place or episode to talk about whatever you guys want to listen to as well. And try to update you as much as possible, because I know most of the people not in the Faroe Islands aren't able to see the games, which is a bit disappointing. I would love to for players, no, for Faroese football fans abroad to be able to watch the games, because it's a small league, but it's interesting to follow. So, and yeah, I don't really have time to edit this episode, so I'm sorry if it feels a bit long, but I'm just going to post it exactly how it is. I hope it's okay. So it's going to be maybe some stuttering and whatever, but that's just how it is right now, because I don't really have time, because we're leaving early tomorrow morning, and I have a lot of stuff that I have to get done before then. So, but yeah, anyways, thank you guys really much for listening, and yeah, see you soon, and all the best.